Hello everyone, my name is Alex and welcome to today's IELTS speaking class. Whether you're watching in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, you are all very welcome. And I look forward to seeing how many people will join us live today and also engaging in live mock speaking practice with the students who are joining us in the classroom. So if you are watching this class live, let me introduce myself just in case there are any new students here. My name is Alexander and I am the IELTS teacher for today's session. I am currently based in the UK, so here it's a wet and windy afternoon. So let me know if you are watching live right now on either YouTube or Facebook. Send me a message in the chat box to tell me your name and where you're watching from, and I will shout you out live during the class. So I can see that we've got some students that have joined us within the class already, which is great to see. I look forward to doing practice with these students in a very short while. So we have Honey, Netra, Peter and Eagle who have joined us within the classroom. So a very warm welcome to each of you. And I can see now that there are students who are watching us on Facebook as well. Saima from Saudi Arabia. Welcome to the class, Saima. Who else is watching on Facebook or YouTube? Let me know. Okay, so just while the students are beginning to join us, let me provide a bit of information relating to how you can get more directly involved with us here at Swoosh English and Connetics if you haven't got involved already. And you can do that by joining our scholarship program. So let me just bring up some details for you here. So if you would like to work as a nurse, in the United States, then join us at Swoosh English and Connetics and sign up for our IELTS scholarship program. You can sign up for that today and you could get access to specialized help to prepare you for passing the exam, and you could get all of this help for free. So all you have to do is click on the link in the description, which I'm going to share now. And once you've clicked on that link, just click on Staff Nurse, and you will be able to find out much more about this opportunity. Okay, so I can see that some other students are joining us in the class now. I can see that Lee Janey has joined from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Welcome to you, Lee. Alice has joined us as well. Hello to you, Alice. Okay, and we're all up and live on YouTube as well. So if you are watching live on YouTube, then do let me know. As I say, let me know your name and where you're from. And also, there will be some questions throughout the class. I do like the class to be as interactive as possible. If people do get involved directly, that does make the class run more successfully. So please do feel free to answer questions and to volunteer information as we're going through, and to ask questions as well if there's anything you would like to ask about. Okay, so I can see that we are being joined by more students now in the live class. Claire has joined us, Kwayeza has joined us as well, and Anna has joined us in the class too. And Tanya has joined us. Let me bring Tanya into the class now.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Tanya. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. A bit wet and windy, but trying not to let it bring me down.
That is good. The weekend is pending, so you don't want to be
Absolutely.
brought down, Alex.
Not at all. Not at all.
What's on the agenda for the class today?
So today we're going to look at comparatives and just looking at some common mistakes that students often make when using comparatives and speaking, and also how we can level up a little bit as well in terms of providing a little bit more complexity and variety. So I'm hoping that the students will give some suggestions as well. There'll be moments I'll be asking students for some of their ideas, and then we'll be doing some IELTS speaking practice.
Okay, good. Well, it sounds like you've got a packed agenda, so I will leave you to it. But I just wanted to pop in and say hi to everybody. And I'm pleased that so many people are joining this IELTS class. I've just finished a immigration question and answer with the lawyers, with the panel of immigration lawyers. And to everybody, the information to everybody was that there is really no better time to come to the US from an immigration perspective. So I really encourage everybody to do the work on the IELTS side, because of course, as we know, you cannot come to the US without passing the IELTS exam. So we're very grateful to you, Alex, and to Swoosh for providing this service. And we just want to encourage everybody to do the work. And I hope everybody saw the IELTS Hero interview that I did last week with Bert, who did not pass the IELTS 7 times, and on the 8th time, after doing consistent practice and doing the work, he passed with an 8 in speaking. So it is possible. Yeah. If anyone has not seen that interview, you should see it, because it really is so inspirational and hopefully will motivate many nurses.
No, it must do. And I'm glad that Bert got there as well, because I remember doing practice with Bert in these classes last year. And I think we did a practice recently as well, a few months ago. So yeah, you will get there. You will get there eventually.
He was very grateful for all your help and assistance, Alex. So
yes,
and that's what we want for everybody. So please, everybody, I encourage you, now is the time. There's no better time to come to the US right now. We've never seen so many jobs. We've never seen such demand from US employers, and the IELTS is a requirement. So you have no choice, even though it's hard and challenging and stressful, you have no choice. So thank you, Alex, for helping everybody to get to attain their goals.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you. I'll leave you to it. Enjoy, everybody.
Okay. Thanks, Tanya.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Okay. So let's have a look at the materials for today's class then. Just as I'm bringing those up, a quick hi to Arun Bayar, Masood, and also to Alice as well. Hello to all of you. Masood watching from Pakistan. Okay. So this is what we are going to be focusing on then. As I was saying there with Tanya, we will be focusing on comparative forms today and doing some practice on these. So comparative forms is a way that we can show a high level of grammar. And we have to make sure, of course, that our comparisons are both appropriate and accurate. So there are 2 basic ways of making comparisons in English. One is to add ER or EST if you've got a 1-syllable adjective. So, for example, tall in the comparative form becomes taller. The superlative form becomes the tallest. So we could make a sentence such as Tom is taller than Richard, but David is the tallest. Okay, obviously, it's a very basic way to make a comparison. Also, we can add more or most if the adjective has 2 or more syllables. So if we have a look at the adjective cautious, and we wanted to make a comparative with cautious, we'd have to use more cautious or the most cautious if we were making the comparative and the superlative forms. So again, we could say Tom is more cautious than David, but Ian is the most cautious. He's more cautious than everybody, the most cautious. Okay, so far clear, right? However, there are some exceptions and irregularities just to be aware of. So if you have 2-syllable adjectives that end in Y, then most of these adjectives can take 2 forms. Either we can use the more or most. So if we take the adjective needy, for example, someone is needy. If they don't have much money or much food, we might describe them as needy. You can be more needy than someone, or the most needy if we're using the superlative. But it's also possible to use needier or the neediest. So the Y can change into an I, and we add the ER or the EST. The key point here to note is that both forms are acceptable. There are, of course, some irregularities as well. So the adjectives good, bad, and far all have irregular comparative forms. So good, the comparative is better, the superlative the best. Bad, the comparative is worse, the superlative is the worst. And far actually has two forms. So it could be farther and the farthest, or further and the furthest. So these are the irregular comparatives when we are forming comparatives from adjectives. Some errors to avoid with comparatives. Make sure you don't use the double comparative. So if we have the expression more easier, that is obviously wrong because you've used both more and you've used er at the end. So that would be an error. Okay, so you should just use easier in this case. The double superlative is another issue which can occur as well. So the most fastest, again, clearly that's wrong. It's redundant. Just the fastest would be correct in this case. And also sometimes people use the superlative but forget to use the. So they say he's funniest person I know, which is incorrect. We need the if we're using the superlative. So it should be he's the funniest person I know. Okay, so that's a quick overview then, but how can we show variety to our comparisons? What more can we do? We add ER or more, we add EST or most, but are there any other ways that you're aware of that we can make comparisons? Note that if we use ER, we're saying that someone is more something than somebody else. But what if we want to express a comparison in a different way? So if you're aware of any other ways of expressing comparisons, let me know in the chat box, either on Facebook or YouTube, depending on where you're watching. Or if you're watching live in the class, let me know live in the class. What are some other ways that we can make comparisons in English? Be interested to hear your suggestions. Okay. So we've got some comments here. As compared to. Okay, so thank you, Anna. Yeah, as compared to, that's a way that we can begin a comparison. Yeah, so for example, India is more populous than most countries as compared to Pakistan, for example. So yeah, that's a nice way we can make a comparison. Anna Karenina says whereas. So again, whereas would be a good way of linking a comparison. So we've made a comparison using perhaps ER or EST or more plus or most plus the adjective. But what we could do in that case is to link comparisons using whereas as a way to do that. So yeah, absolutely. That's another way we could do it. Good. Any other ways that we can make comparisons where we're not using any of the forms that we've looked at so far, or we can add to some of the forms that we've looked at so far? Let's see if anything else comes up. Any other suggestions? We've got some comments here. So yeah, whereas is one. In contrast to, yeah, so again, other ways where we can add more information, good. That's exam stuff, good name. Adajet says between, versus. Okay, so yeah, again, good ways to add to our comparisons to provide more information. Fantastic. Okay, so let's have a look at some other ideas as well, some ideas which I came up with earlier, and we'll see. We can compare those with the ones that you have suggested. Okay, so we can see here then that one of the ways that we can make a comparison which is different to just using more or ER, for example, is to use as. So if we use as, we actually use the original form of the adjective. Yeah, so he isn't as fast as me is another way of saying I'm faster than him. Okay, so it means the same thing, but we're using as a way of making another comparison. But if we want to say that two things are equal, because you can make a comparison to say that two things are equal, as well as to say that things are different, we can use as in the positive form. So he's as fast as me. We can also use less. So instead of using more, to look at the comparison from the other perspective. So we can say he's less interesting than me, which is another way of saying I'm more interesting than him. We can also use the superlative of less, of course, which would be the least. So he's the least interesting person that I know, as again, as the opposite to the most interesting person. We can also use adverbs. So adverbs we could use to add emphasis to the comparison. So we could say, for example, I'm much faster than him, if we want to really add a lot of emphasis. Or we can soften it. We can make it weaker by saying I'm a bit faster than him. So what other adverbs could we use which has the same meaning as much or a bit? Are you aware of other adverbs we could use? We could use as a substitute for much or a bit. Again, let me know in the chat if you have any suggestions. Any synonyms for these adverbs? Okay. Okay, so we'll see if any suggestions come up, but here are some suggestions that I made before. Actually, just before I go on to that, yeah, here are some suggestions that I made before. So let me just go back quickly. Yeah, so for much, we could use these adverbs instead. So far, or decidedly, significantly, markedly. So instead of saying I'm much faster, I could say I'm far faster. Or I could say I'm significantly faster, I'm markedly faster. Decidedly and markedly are less common, but they are possible to use a bit of variety. For a bit, we could say slightly, I'm slightly faster, or marginally, I'm marginally faster, or just a bit, to make it even more qualified, to make it even weaker. I'm just a bit faster than him. A note here, we can also use easily with superlative forms to add emphasis. So instead of just saying he's the funniest person I know, we could say he's easily the funniest person I know. Or another example, she's easily the tallest in her class. So it's a way of adding even more emphasis to a superlative. Okay. So Netra asks how to compare the past with the present situation. Interesting. Okay, so we could say in the past, people used to write a lot of letters. However, now people tend to send emails. So that's where we could use a linker like however, whereas, nevertheless. We could use those sorts of linkers to compare the past to the present in that way. Okay then, so let's do some speaking practice now. I'm going to bring one of our students into the class so that we can do some practice together. We're going to start with IELTS speaking part 3. And most of us are going to be familiar with this, but for those that are new to the class, this part of the exam lasts between 4 to 5 minutes. It's linked to the topic in part 2. It will be when you get into the exam room. The questions will be a question and answer format. But they will be more abstract than in parts 1 and 2. You should ensure that your answers to the questions are clear and structured, so use linkers where appropriate, and you should ensure as well that you give a clear opinion in your responses. Finally, justify and explain your opinion where possible. So let's see who is in the class today and who we can bring in to start us off. It looks like we've got some new students with us today, so let me bring in one of our new students to do some practice. Abigail, I'm going to bring you in here. Are you there, Abigail?
Hi, Sir Alex.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm very well. Where are you today?
I'm in Abu Dhabi.
Okay. Um, and is this the first time you've joined us for the IELTS speaking class?
Actually, this is my second time.
Ah, okay. So you've done some practice before. Okay, good. Well, welcome back. Welcome back, Abigail. Um, we're going to do some part 3 questions together now. So are you ready to do some practice?
Okay, I'll try.
Let's do it. Okay, so the topic we're going to look at first of all then is arguments. So Abigail, the first question I have for you is, do you think arguments are important?
Well, I suppose so. Arguments is important to bring across our intention or our voice. For example, argument is important in a certain meeting in the corporate world where the members and the leaders are sharing all their ideas. And in addition to that, there are certain arguments that are constructive, like those arguments that are in the, I mean, in the government, in the Senate. For example, if there is a meeting in the Senate, something like that.
Okay. What do family members usually have arguments about?
Oh, that's
Are you
quite
there,
a
Abigail?
difficult question. Yeah, I'm here, sir. I
No worries.
I think I think family members argue about for example between there are arguments between parents and their children. Uh, if the parents want to discipline their children, um, there can be a certain argument between them.
Do you think it's easier to have arguments with family or friends?
In my opinion, I believe that it's easier to have an argument between families because um, I think blood is thicker than water. Because even if you don't agree between your family members, at the end of the day, um, they are still for your own good.
Mm. And some people say that arguments can help relationships improve. Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree about that because if we don't have argument, we the other person will not know about our opinion or about our likes and dislikes.
Mm. Good, good. Okay, thank you very much, Abigail. Some
Thank
good
you.
responses to those questions. Sorry?
Thank you, sir.
No worries at all. No worries at all. So good. So there was some nice use of opinion language there. You know, in my opinion, just to signal, obviously, that you were giving opinions. You were using some linking expressions. You use the first conditional as well. So if they discipline the children, then they could argue about that. So that was good. Also, there was a nice expression you used. You said blood is thicker than water. So that was a nice expression. Just something to watch out for there, Abigail. There was quite a lot of hesitation with the questions. So this is where using what I call or what are known as time-buying phrases is very useful. So if you use an expression, and you did do that for one of the questions, to be fair, you said, you know, that's a difficult question, but you paused for a long time before you said it. So the point of the expression is to use it immediately to avoid the pause, because if you're pausing, then that shows hesitation, and then that's going to impact your fluency grade. So just be aware of that. There just were a couple of slips in grammar to watch out for as well. So you said arguments is important. Obviously, you've used a plural form, so you should use a plural verb. Arguments are important. And then you also made the statement, you talked about agree between family members, but we should use agree with family members. So we don't always agree with each other. That's the preposition we would use with agree with. But yeah, other than that, Abigail, I thought you gave some good responses. So thank you for getting us started with today's speaking practice.
Thank you, Sir Alex.
Cheers. Okay, so I'm going to stick to the same topic because we've got quite a lot of questions on this one, and we've got quite a few students with us today as well. So let me bring Kwayeza into the class. I think if I may have pronounced that wrong. Tell me if I have. Hi there.
Hi, Sir Alex. Yes, my name is Kwaisa, actually.
Ah, good,
Yes,
good.
it's pronounced as Kwaisa, but you can call me Yesa for short. Everyone
Yes.
has difficulty pronouncing my name initially, but for those who's working in Middle East, my name came from the word Kwais, means good.
Okay, very nice, very nice. And is that going to be is that going to relate to your speaking practice today? Yes, sir. Kwayesa means good. I'm sure you're going to show us how good
I
you
hope
are.
so.
Good, good. So is that where you are at the moment, in the Middle East?
No, I'm now currently living in Philippines.
Oh, okay, okay. Are you looking to return to the Middle East, or are your plans to go to the United States eventually?
I already been in the Middle East for 5 years now. I'm currently residing for 5 years here in Philippines now. I'm looking forward for my American dream.
Wonderful, wonderful. The American dream, that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to stick with the same topic, Kwayesa. And the question I have for you is this. Is it important to remember that arguing can be beneficial to the health of friendships?
What's that again? I'm sorry.
So in your opinion, do you think that arguing can be beneficial to the health of friendships?
Yes, I think it is beneficial because some topics you need to be frank to the person, even though it's your friend. You need to disagree if you really disagree with the topic. If you really don't like it, then just voice it out. That's friendship are for. You need to be honest to each other. If you don't agree, then say your opinion.
And
It
in
will
what
help
ways do you
both
think
of you grow.
and in what ways do you think it will help friendships develop to be honest with each other?
In what way?
In what ways do you think it will help friendships to develop if friends are honest with each other?
The what do you call this? The honesty to each other. It's more important because I really don't know how to speak on my mind now. It will help you be open to each other. When you're honest, you're open, and then you're not hiding anything from them like that.
Mm, good. Do you think people should change the way they think when having arguments?
If that arguments prove that the other side is right, then maybe. If you have thoughts, oh yeah, he's right, he have a point, like that, you can change your mind in any way if you agree with the.
Why do you think some people refuse to change their mind when having arguments?
For maybe because they already experienced it, or they already had that experience, that situation. That's why they are very firm with their decision or their answer to that situation.
Okay, thank you very much there. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good. So looking at the positives then, obviously some of the questions you found a bit difficult, but you did give an answer to each of the questions. You used some vocabulary to express opinion, so using I think in order to do that. Some conditional sentences you're using as well. There's a nice expression you used. You said you need to be frank. But just a note, actually, if you say you need to be frank, it should be you need to be frank with the person, not frank to the person. So that's the preposition you would use there, frank with.
Thank you, Sir Alex.
No worries, but that was a nice expression that you used. Also, you used comparative. You said it's more important, and this was about being honest with each other, I think. But in this case, you wouldn't say more. You'd say it's very important. So you'd only say more if you're comparing it to something. But here, I think you were just showing emphasis. So yeah, very important is what you would use there. But yeah, so you use some paraphrasing as well. You talked about honesty, and then you said it's important to be open as well. So that was a nice expression, which obviously means the same thing as honesty. But again, just with the preposition, you said honesty to each other. Again, honesty with each other is the expression that you want to use there. So just be aware of your use of prepositions. And what I would say as well, yes, as a point to develop for section 3, is that you can show more fluency and provide a bit more content if you give examples. So you were talking about certain situations, such as, whether people change their minds. Should they change their minds? Sometimes, why did they not change their mind? And you gave a bit of an explanation, but you didn't give any examples. So an example can really help to give you more to say. It can help you to provide a more a fuller response to the question. So that's what I would recommend when you're doing your speaking practice in the future. Try to include examples when you are giving answers for speaking part 3 questions, because it will help you to develop your responses a little bit more.
I'll work on it. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you, yes, sir, and well done for getting involved. Okay, so let us continue. I'm going to bring another student into the class. We're going to look at a different topic. So let's move on to the topic now of local news. And let's see who I can bring in next. So I'm just going to bring Claire into the class. How are you doing, Claire?
Hi, hello, Alex.
Hello. Hello. How have you been?
Yes, I've been quite busy for the past. I've not been with the class for like 3 weeks, if I'm not
Yeah, we
mistaken.
missed you. We missed you, Claire.
Thank you. Yeah, I missed you too.
So you've been working hard, have you, Claire?
Yeah, and also because I'm here in Riyadh, so the holidays are just, you know,
Of course, the Eid, yeah.
yeah, it makes you feel I don't want to do anything.
Very tiring.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm,
well, welcome back, Claire. We're
yeah.
going to do
Thank you.
some part 3 practice together now. And so we're going to look at the topic of local news. So,
Oh.
yeah. So, first question I have for you, Claire, is, in your opinion, do you think people should follow the local news daily?
As for me, following the local news, yes, you can follow. We should follow the local news because it's important it's important for me because this is where you live and this is where this is your daily life. You consider it like interaction in you are having interaction with your surroundings, so you need to know the local news. Like in, for example, like here, like the days of the holiday or the cases of the coronavirus, or which city or which place it has the most cases, so you could avoid that.
Good, good. Okay. Why do some people still like to read newspapers, even though they have the internet?
As for me, as I can see, people who are what we consider old school, they are the ones that really likes to read. Um, I think it depends on your own preference. Like as for me, I like to I like to take hold of the newspaper. I like the smell of the newspaper. I like the its texture, and if the contents are there are contents that are available in newspaper that are not also written in the internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do people in Riyadh prefer reading local or international news?
I can um I don't I cannot s- I can only speak for myself for that. I'm not so sure honestly, but as for my patients, as I can see, they prefer to um still read the local news.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Every morning they turn on the TV. As I can see, they are tuned in our local news station here. Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
good. Okay. Thank you very much, Claire.
Oh, thank you also.
Yeah. So some really nice use of vocabulary, as usual, which was obviously very relevant to the topic. I particularly liked your description of the newspapers, particularly when you're talking about the texture of
Oh,
the paper. That was a
sorry, I
nice.
forgot to turn on my cam.
At least you
I
did it
was so
now.
preoccupied. I was so preoccupied.
Well, it's nice you're doing it now. So yeah, that was a really nice use of vocabulary there. Um, Also, old school was quite a nice expression as well. You're talking about those again. So obviously
Oh,
yourself,
I
you're
can
obviously
use
quite old
that.
school. Yeah,
I
yeah, of
can use
course.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
in speaking, you can use less
Because
formal expressions. Yeah,
oh, okay. Because like is it considered colloquial?
it would be less formal, a less formal
Oh, okay.
expression, but that's not a problem for speaking. Yeah,
Oh,
you're able to, yeah, as long as it's clear, as long as it's recognizable within English
mm-hmm.
speaking communities, yeah, and that very much is. So yeah, that was a nice expression. It's less common language, so you always get credit for that. Um, Good, yeah. Tuned in was a nice one, a nice expression that you used as well. Um, and what was another one that I quite liked? Yeah, just you're using quite a few and language to give opinions as well. But just to pick up on language to give opinions, actually. So you did say
Okay.
"as for me" a few times, and
Oh, okay.
doesn't quite have the
How
same
can I
meaning.
say it? How can I say it as for me, in
As for
other
me,
words,
so
aside from in my opinion?
yeah, so yeah, you can try to. I can see you're trying to avoid saying, "in my opinion."
Yes.
So for me, you can say "for me" rather than "as for me." That's possible. From my perspective, is another one that
Oh,
you can
yeah, yeah,
use.
yeah.
In my point of view is another expression that you can use as well. If you're giving a sort of judgment on other people, and you were at one stage because I asked you about people in Riyadh, an expression that
Mm-hmm.
you could use there is "as far as I can tell" is quite a good one. So,
Oh,
as far as I can tell, people here like to read about local news, for example. So, I'm
what
going to
did I
share that
say
in
a
chat.
while ago?
You said something
As
similar.
far as
Yeah,
yes,
you said "as I
I could
can
only
see."
speak. I could only speak for myself.
That's a good one. Yeah, that was a good expression.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's a good expression. Yeah, so yeah, you're talking about your own personal opinion in that situation. Then yeah, that's absolutely fine. That was a good expression that you used there. Um,
okay.
so yeah, that was good. And just be careful with prepositions. So they can be difficult. But so tuned in was nice. But you said tuned in on our local news station. It should be tuned in to
Uh,
our local news
True.
station. Yeah, tune in to something. And there was one other expression that you used as well. You talked about in the internet. It should be on the internet.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
on the internet.
yeah. Think about like online on the internet.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, 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 mm.
But yeah, aside from that, Claire, very nice. Like I said, particularly vocabulary, very accurate in terms of pronunciation, and a good level of fluency as well. So well done.
Thank you.
You're very
It's
welcome.
nice to hear you again. I'm writing down my. It's nice to hear you again.
Yes, it's nice to hear you as well. Nice to see you too.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Claire. Okay, so we're going to move on to do more practice. But just before we do, let me remind those who have tuned in a little bit later about the opportunity that exists here. So if you do wish to work as a nurse in the US, if you want to pursue that American dream, then join us here at Swoosh English and Connetics USA, and we can help you, provide you with the support and the guidance in order to make that dream a reality. Join us with our IELTS scholarship program. You could sign up for that today, and you could do that for free. All you have to do is click on the link in the chat box, which I'm going to share just now, and click on the option Staff Nurse in order to find out more information. Okay, so let's bring in some more students then to continue our speaking practice for today. And we're going to look at the topic of sharing. So let's see who we can bring in to look at this topic today. So I'm just going to bring Ed into the class. Hi there, Ed. Are you there?
Yeah, hello, good
Hi.
afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, good afternoon. Where are you joining us from today, Ed?
I'm currently here in the UK.
Oh, so hence why you said good afternoon.
Yeah,
We're on the
that's
same.
why.
Okay, which
It's quite
part of the
windy
UK?
here.
It is,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm here in Southend-on-Sea. Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be particularly windy, I can imagine, then on the coast.
Yes.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, is this the first time you've joined us in this class, Ed?
Yes, actually, it's my first time.
A very warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so Ed, we're looking at part 3 today. I'm going to look at the topic of sharing. So my first question for you is, do you like to share?
Yes, for me, I do believe in the saying that it is better to give than to receive because most of the time, especially nowadays, what's happening in our global pandemic, um, it would be more fulfilling for me to give and share of whatever I have. And I could, at the end of the day, I could feel happy. I will be happy and I could feel it um, more satisfying to be able to help to other people that who are in need.
Okay, which things do you think are easiest to share with others?
Nowadays, it would be easier for you to share some relief goods, such as those families who don't have any goods that are needed in their daily lives. So we have a local charity here wherein we can drop our goods that we are going to donate to them. And aside from that, we can also share some monetary donations online nowadays.
Okay, do you think it's important to share your feelings with others?
Yes, apparently, it would be more easier for you to express your feelings for that particular person, especially if you love him or you do care for him, because we don't know what would happen in our life. So it would be easier for us to express every day, and we would tell them that, and we would remind them that how much we care and love them.
Why do some people not like to share their feelings?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Why do some people not like to share their feelings?
I think some of the people don't like to share their feelings because they don't want to offend that people, especially if they want to tell something that is bad or that might offend that particular person. So it would ra- they would take that feeling within themselves and rather than expressing it.
Okay, thank you very much there, Eds.
Oh
Some
my
really
God, I
good.
felt nervous. Sorry about that.
No, it didn't come across. You gave nice, fluent responses. There wasn't much pausing, and your responses were well developed as well. So, so well done. Yeah, you were using a lot of comparatives as well, which was great because obviously that was what I focused on at the beginning of the class. So one expression used, which was nice. You said it's better to give than receive. Nice expression to use. You said more fulfilling. So nice comparative use there. More satisfying was another one. Just one thing though, you did say more easier. So that was one of my things to avoid.
Yeah. Redundant already, my goodness.
Exactly. Yeah. So be careful with that one. It is a commonly made mistake, but yeah, just easier. Obviously, is what you should have used there. Some nice expressions you used. Yeah, express your feelings was a nice expression that you used as well. Talking about offending as well. They don't want to express feelings because they offend people. So there was some good. Aside from that was a nice linking expression that you used as well. So lots of good language in there. Again with prepositions, you talked about people should give of, or I should give of whatever I have. You don't need to use of, just give. To give whatever I have. So yeah, just be careful with that one. And also plural form. So you said offend. You said to offend that people, but people is plural. So that person, yeah, or those people, if you want to use the plural form, it just has to agree. That's all. But yeah, other than that, that was good. And then later on, actually, you talked about that particular person, so you were using it correctly later on. But yeah, well done, Ed.
Thank you.
And again, thank you for getting involved.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Cheers. Okay, so we've got a question here from Netra. Can't we use even, quiet, bit easier? Quite no. So we could use a bit easier. We could say it's a bit easier, or just we can't say quite easier. We can't use that. We can only use quite with the original adjective form. So we could say it's quite easy, but we can't say it's quite easier. Yeah, we could say it's a bit easier, slightly easier, marginally easier. We could use those forms. Okay, so let's move on now to part 2. And I'm going to bring up a new topic for that. Or more accurately, I'm going to go back to a topic we've looked at previously in the class. So just a quick introduction for those who are new to the IELTS speaking exam. Part 2 will usually last for 3 to 4 minutes in total. It begins with the presentation of a question. The candidate then has a minute to prepare a response. They should speak for up to 2 minutes. And you should always aim to speak for the full 2 minutes or until the examiner stops you. Okay, so let's have a look then. We're going to look at the topic of an argument again, but this time we're going to look at the part 2 question. And so to do some practice with us here, I'm going to bring Peter into the class. Hi there, Peter.
Hi, Alex. I'll just put my
Hi.
head. Yeah.
That's okay. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm on my 5th day of annual leave, so yeah, feel refreshed.
Nice. I'm jealous. I'm looking forward to having some annual leave myself.
Yeah.
Good for you. Okay, Peter. So, can you see the topic card on the screen? Brilliant.
Yes,
okay.
I do.
So you've got a minute then, Peter, just to read the card. Obviously, you may make notes if you wish. And then you should speak about the topic for up to 2 minutes.
Okay, can I start now? Like, I would just want to chat.
You just want to get going?
Yeah, so that we can accommodate the others. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
just give me.
I'll just try. I have something in mind. Yeah.
You got something to go? Yeah. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
So today I'm going to describe a debate that happened with two of my colleagues while we are working in the emergency department. So I'm currently working as a registered nurse in the emergency area. And there was one time when two of my friends were arguing about a certain medication that they were planning to give to a patient. It was a bit confusing because that medication sounds a bit the same as with another medication. So both of them were arguing if it is safe to give that particular medicine to that patient who is having a heart problem. So I interrupted their argument and I led them to check particular medicine in our medication information system. So it happened to be that the other person, like my other friend, were correct with his idea that it is safe to give that certain medicine to that patient. So in the end, we were able to protect the patient from getting harmed from an impending mistake that that were supposed to happen if my other friend could have give that medication to him. So the three of us were happy, and we had a nice shift, and we knew from that day that it is important and
Okay,
it is healthy to have arguments. Yeah. Okay.
that's great. That's great. Thank you very much. So, no need for preparation. You just got straight in. You had the ideas in your
Yeah. Yeah.
head. Good, good, good. Well, that's great. I mean, if you have the ideas in your head straight away, that's really good. I would obviously in the exam, I would say take the minute. You know, just because why
Okay.
not? It can give you a bit of time to maybe sort of think of some words, maybe just to write down some pointers for yourself in terms of right. Because, for example, you know, you did a really good job in speaking for the 2 minutes, and you came up with lots of relevant ideas. But there were just certain moments of like where you're using filler expressions, just when you were thinking of what you're going to say next,
Yeah.
which is not a problem. But if you just had some ideas written down, you could reduce that even more, and that would then give you a higher score for fluency. So yeah, even if, like, say for example, you know, at the moment, let's say you're an 8 out of 10, you know, you give yourself a minute to prepare, that can get you to a 9 out of 10. So it's always good
Oh,
to have that. But I understand obviously why you decided you wanted to just go for it right now, and
yeah.
that's appreciated obviously, so we can bring more people in. So thank you for
Yeah.
that, Peter. But yeah, so some really good stuff in there. Yeah, two of my friends were arguing, so you were using the past continuous there to provide the context. That was really good that you're using that variety with your tensors. You self-corrected at one stage, which was good as well. I think you said that patience, and then you self-corrected to the singular.
Oh, yeah.
So that's again, that's a good thing to do if you realize you made a mistake, to self-correct. There was good structure. You said towards the end of the talk, you said, you know, in the end, you know, this was the resolution. So you had some good structure to your talk. Just in terms of vocabulary, there's a couple of things I wanted to clarify with you. So at one point you said an intending mistake. Did you?
Impending mistake.
Impending
Yeah.
mistake.
Impending mistake. Okay.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't hear that quite clearly. Okay, an
Okay.
impending mistake. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. And then you said it's supposed to happen. I think
Yeah.
what you meant there is it could have happened.
It could have happened. Okay. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
I was predicting. Yeah. Something.
a
Yeah.
possibility in the
Yeah.
future.
Possibility. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So if you say something's supposed to happen, you're saying that it should happen. But in this case, obviously, it's not the fact it should happen; it's the fact that it's we don't want it to be. Yeah, it could have happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Would have been the expression there.
Okay.
Good. And yeah, so you're using comparisons as well. So at one point you said that the medication, you said it sounds the same as with another medication. You don't need the preposition there. So just it sounds the same as another medication. So
Okay.
yeah, nice use of the comparison, but yeah, if you get rid of the preposition, then it's more accurate. But yeah, okay. Thank you very much there, Peter, and
Okay.
well done
Thank you
again.
for the time, Alex.
You're welcome. Cheers. Okay, so we've got time to bring another student in so we can do some more practice. I'm going to try and bring Joanna in because we haven't done any practice for a while. Are you there, Joanna?
Hi. Hi.
Hi
Can you hear
there.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you today?
I'm good.
Brilliant, brilliant. Have we done practice before, Joanna?
No, not yet. Actually, I was attending this live mock test last Friday, but just so happened that I'm having a problem with this StreamYard with my
Ah,
microphone and camera setup. So I just opted to watch on FB Live.
okay, no problem, no problem. Well, a very warm welcome to you to today's class, Joanna.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, looking forward to doing some practice. Where are
Okay.
you? Where are you calling from?
I'm currently in the Philippines.
In the Philippines. Wonderful. Okay. So let's move on to a new topic then, Joanna. We're going to
Okay.
look at the topic of the local. Sharing. We're going to look at the topic of sharing.
Okay.
So can you see the topic card on your screen?
Yes, yes, I can see it.
Brilliant. Okay, so Joanna, you have a minute then to prepare your response.
Okay.
Okay, Joanna, are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Okay, so please describe a time when you shared something with others or another person.
Okay. So I would like to share this story that I shared with my friend. Something I shared with my friend. Her name is Catherine. Um, Last year, January 2020, I attended the review course for NCLEX. So after that, I took the exam and then I passed. And then my friend Catherine also wanted to take NCLEX, and so I opted to share with her my review materials so that it will lessen her the cost of her preparing for NCLEX. Um, I shared it because it's better to give than to receive, and I know that sharing these review materials will help her in achieving her dreams. And I felt it felt good. I felt good helping her because aside from the fact that she is my friend, I know that I shared a part of her dream, which is to become a U.S. registered nurse. And so if given a chance to share this to anyone, or even though they are not my friends, I will share it, though, just to help them in achieving their dreams. And and so yeah, I think she was so happy with what I did and with what I shared. And she told
Okay,
me
that's
that,
great. Thank you very much, Joanna.
so
Um,
sorry.
no, that was great. That was great. That was really good. So yeah, obviously just towards the end there, you were thinking of some ideas, but we'd almost reached 2 minutes, so that's absolutely fine. So some really nice use of language there, Joanna. So opted to was nice, a nice expression. You used the expression again, better to give than to receive.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, I
help,
didn't know how to start. Sorry.
right. Well, we got there. We got there. You also said you helped. You were happy to help her in achieving her dreams, which was great as well. The grammar there was correct. In achieving and to achieve dreams is a nice collocation. Also, you said I shared a part of her dream as well. So yeah, that was nice. You spoke at a nice pace. Your fluency was good. Your pronunciation was very accurate. There was just towards the end you repeated a little bit. I think because you were trying to think of more words to say about help to achieving
Yes.
our dreams. But here it's a good idea to paraphrase rather than to use the same words again. So instead of saying I helped her to achieve her dreams, you could say I really helped her to reach her goals. You know what I mean? So you're saying the same thing, but you're just using different
Yes,
words,
yes. Yes.
showing a bit more variety.
I'll keep that in mind.
Good. And then there was one point where you said the cost of her preparing for the exam, but you could have used the noun form there. So the cost of her preparation for the exam. That would have been
Okay.
a nice bit, just to sort of use a bit of variety in terms of the word forms as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and just a final thing towards the end, you said, I would share this to anyone, but again with prepositions, I would share this with is the
Okay.
preposition. Yeah, always to share with.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
yeah, thank you very much, Joanna.
Nice
And well done.
experience.
Good. If it's useful.
I was looking forward to this.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, you've done really well, Joanna. So thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers. Okay. So thank you very much to all those who've participated today. Just a question here. So Pachu's asked how we could join, or she could join the conversation. So do click on the link for the IELTS scholarship program. That's how you can join us for future classes. You will see here that we are working together, Swoosh English and Connetics USA, to provide opportunities for nurses to work in the United States. So if that is what you wish to do and you want to get directly involved in these classes and do practice live with me, then click on the link in the chat box and you will be able to do that in future classes. And we always do, for new students that join us, I do try to bring as many new students in as possible so as many people can get this opportunity. And on that note, an apology to those who have not been able to bring in today. I will certainly endeavour to bring you in next week if I've not been able to bring you in this week. But it just remains for me to say thanks once again to all those watching live, and I will see you again next week. Until then, take care.